Hi, everybody. This is James from Prague at SoulCARE. We're running a little bit left behind because I just got back from a trip, and I was in Florida and had a great time with everybody. So I want to thank everybody who was there at the events I had down there in St. Petersburg and also in Fort Lauderdale. I saw a lot of old friends there, and I saw a lot of former students of mine and students who are there now, because currently students of mine. So thank you everybody for coming out. I appreciate that. I'm going to open up the comments so I can see all you lovelies. Hello, Ellie. Florida was very interesting. I must say, Florida was very interesting. Yes, I did some drag queen jokes there. So I don't know how long it went, well, it went over, but it's true. It's a very strange thing when they start going after drag queens, I think. That's not good. Any minute now. I had no live feed. Oh, it'll come. Hi, Lori. It should be there. Hi from Dallas, Barbara. Let's keep on going and we'll see if this is working. Okay, there we go. Mimi is there. Hi, Mimi. We just had to hook up some microphone stuff and the new camera because I brought the camera with me. So, and it looks like I'm very hot. What does that mean? Hot means there's a lot of light on me. So let's just see. Okay, there we go. I just came from the dog park, so forgive me. I'm not fully dressed. Appropriately dressed. New comments. We are working out. Okay. I'm with everybody gets in. Hi, Nan Stevens. Oh, here we go. Hi, Linda, Pat, Sherry, Peter, Janet, Gail. Hello. It takes a little bit of everyone to get noticed that I'm online on Facebook Live. And now I'm frozen on the screen. So we go, there we go. Okay. Can't wait for cruise in August. Thanks, Jamie. I can't either. I have the playlist. I've started putting the playlist. You have 30 songs. We have to go in there and cut some more songs out of it because I want to make sure it all works in with what I'm doing. And I have a book from the late 1800s, early 1900s, which talks about projection, explorations, excursions to the spirit world, which I studied on my plane ride from Florida. And I'm going to use some of that information that they provide with all the different fields of energy that are around everybody and the different levels of awareness and conscious state, subconscious state, and where you have to be, where you're going to be placed in order to go to different ventures, they call them explorations into the spirit world. So that's what will be part of the cruise. So I'm preparing for it. It's going to be very interesting. I had a reading when I was in St. Petersburg with them. I went to a mystical bookstore and this lady was very good. I'll put her on my website. She was excellent. And I'm going to, she didn't know who I was, which is great. And at the end, she was very good. She validated everything that I just had a reading by Caroline Mumolo. Caroline Mumolo is going to be with us tonight on Both Sides Now. That's this evening at 6 o'clock Pacific time, 9 o'clock Eastern time. And the whole evening will be readings with Caroline. So she's going to be reading regular playing cards. And I invited her on. And she's going to be here tonight on Both Sides Now. So if you have a question you want to ask Caroline, she'll be using the cards, regular playing cards, and see how talented she is. She did a reading for me. Caroline did a reading for me 2 days before I had a reading with this lady from this bookstore. And the lady at the bookstore said almost verbatim exactly what Caroline said. It's really interesting and very specific detail too. So it's very good. So that's Caroline. That's her phone number. She only does phone readings and she does old-fashioned way, which is fine. You send her a check, the check clears and she gives you readings. She books you up. She's booked up a week ahead of time. So she makes plenty of time. She gives. And I just told her this past week, I said, you have to please take care of yourself. Don't give so much. Hold a little bit back. So there we go. Excellent awareness is key. Yes. Anybody at the shows, St. Petersburg or in Fort Lauderdale, if you're on this afternoon? Cameron, I'd love to hear from you, from your your thoughts on the shows, because I know from my experience what it felt like, but it's from the audience experience. Oh, there you go. Lori Smith. Hi, Lori. Thank you, Lori. Were you there, Lori? I didn't see you, Lori. Were you there? I remember there was one reading I did that I was able to do in Lauderdale. Very good. It was a lady whose mother came through, and the mother said, the evidence is very interesting. The mother said, I said, there's a lady here, and the daughter sitting in the audience, and she has her mother's, it looks like a grocery list of items rolled up in her mother's handwriting, and there are 3 items that were crossed off, but the rest of it isn't. And sure enough, that's how the spirit mother got through to her daughter, just with that evidence. So quite amazing. And there was another gentleman, an older man in a wheelchair with his son next to him. His son had never come to an event before, and his girlfriend or friend, Renee, brought him there. And he didn't necessarily believe in it. He's very Catholic. I said, good, well. And I said, your mother is here, and she's seen Mary, and she was watching you cut your father's hair out of his ears this morning. He said, yes, we were doing that. But he didn't really believe. He goes, but is she okay? Is she alive? How do I know she's alive? So I don't know. She's seen Mary and other things. And then he said, I don't know if this is real, but before she died, all she said, I want to see Mary. So I said, well, there's your answer. She saw Mary. And a really interesting evening we had. Um, wish you were coming to Chattanooga. I don't know what that even is. Oh, Melanie, I hope to meet you too, Melanie. Melissa Citral. Hello, JDP, and here is my question. Okay, thank you. Is there something called touching the spirit world beyond the psychic veil? And so, what is a psychic veil? Thank you. Touching the spirit world. Well, that's obviously connecting with the spirit by energies all around us, right? The spirit world is all around us, so it's opening up to that, right? Stepping into the spirit world, like I have for the cruise. And many people refer to it as a veil, psychic veil. I don't know what that means. Psychic veil, just using the word psychic. But there's a veil, there's a curtain, whatever you want to call that, a covering, a curtain, a veil between the worlds, a membrane, if you want to call it that too. So that's really what it is. Don't get caught up in the name as much as what the concept is, that there's like a separation between the physical and spiritual world. That's all that means. Okay. Good day to you as well, my Shirley. How are you? I know. Next year, we're thinking of doing a tour on the East Coast. So Boston, New York, New Jersey, and Philadelphia. We're thinking of that. Susie Burrows, when you plan your next life, you get to pick the era. Yeah. Susie, right now, you can be living in another era right now, just speaking with me. Because part of your soul, the most part of your soul is outside the body. 70% is outside the body, having its own experiences. I was just explaining to somebody that the soul, when you think of the soul, think of the soul as the sun, right? And that this human body right now is just one sliver of your soul. But your soul has other rays of light, which you're experiencing maybe other lifetimes, other worlds, other galaxies, all at the same time that you are aware of this part of yourself. And then when you go back, leaving this physical vibration, this three-dimensional world, and you go back to that frequency of the higher level of the spiritual world, you have more of awareness of what the totality of your soul is. So this is just a sliver of who we are. Isn't that interesting? And if we just realize that in the most advanced way, we become more aware of anything in life is love, passion, and every job that you live, every day you spend in your life, there should be passion in whatever you do. And passion is that igniting that flame within, igniting that light, that God light, that spark within. And when you're enlightened with that spark within and you have passion for whatever you do, whether it's baking cakes, whether it's accounting, whether it's working in a factory, whether it's a homemaker, whatever it is, there needs to be passion. And if you have a hard time finding a passion in the job itself, you got to find it within yourself. And you first should find it within yourself, and then it'll fall into the job, the occupation that you do. That's really the crux of it, really. And people tend to look outside themselves, like in a religion or a group, that they think they're going to find it in that, and you won't find it in that. That's false. It's an illusion. You'll only find it within yourself. Okay. Cassie's Taylor. Will the people who hurt me be in my eternity? Sissy Taylor. The good question. Will the people who hurt me be in my eternity? Sissy, good. Let me ask you a question. Have you forgiven those people? Because if you have, then they won't. Your karma will be finished. You don't necessarily need to be bothered with it, but it's a lesson for you to forgive them, because you would know better. It doesn't mean that you condone what they've done, but it's a lesson for you to forgive them. So every one of us is responsible for how we behave and how we send out energy and thoughts and how we treat people with words and thoughts and acts. We're all responsible. No one gets away from it. And yeah, don't let yourself be limited by religion as well, because sometimes people get so involved in religion, it becomes brainwashing and takes away from you yourself doing it. So many people I know blame the religion. That's just a scapegoat, really. Okay, good. Hi, Raven from South Africa. I lost my little boy just over 4 months ago. I'm very sorry. Your books and channel have helped me in many ways. I'm still grieving. Thank you, Raven. I'm sorry for your loss. Our lost spirits gain, right? And when you're losing a child, it's I think one of the hardest lessons on this school, the soul school, Earth. It's hardest, I think. But also to realize that I think you do, Raven. There's a bigger picture. There's a divine picture. We don't understand all of it in this three-dimensional world. But it's an opportunity for your son to perhaps that soul just needed that experience, and then that soul could graduate and go home. So when sometimes, like looking from the other side of life, this perspective of the spirit world, they're happy to have him back, and that he didn't have to suffer this, I don't call it suffering, but going through the hardships of this physical vibration of the school down here, because it's a hard school. So bless him, and that he didn't have to go through that, and he can help you and guide you from the spirit side of life. And that might have been that job, that might have been the agreement that you had before the incarnation. So just look at things in a very different way is really what we need to do to open up our minds. And I think you do, Raven, and it's blessed to have you as a soulmate. Okay, Dominic. Yes, we're throwing out questions today. Okay, how can I get? How come I can only identify my primary spirit guide? Oh, Dominic, because you're trying too hard. So it's not human. It's probably very human of you saying, "I want to see you. I want to see you. I want to see you." So it's a matter of relaxing your mind and surrendering, and letting yourself sit in a regular progression of meditation, of relaxing the mind, and just being aware, not being so demanding to see the spirit guide, but sensing and feeling them, and closing your eyes and being subtle. And it's almost like when I do mediumship, you have to relax the mind and relax ourselves, and they will come to you in that way. They certainly won't come out to none of us. Spirit loved ones won't come to you if you're fanatic and you're saying, "I want this, I demand this." They won't do it because the energy is too scattered. When we want stuff, we open up that space. Think about opening up the space. And I say this analogy every week, and I'll say it again. It's as if the energy I want you to feel about that, we try to do spirit guide or loved one, is imagine a feather falling from the heavens, and you want to catch the feather. Well, you can put your palm out. It's more likely that you catch it that way than you would if you try reaching for it and grabbing it, because that way you're pushing it away. So think of it that way. That helps. Hi, Angel. Light, love and blessings back, sweetheart. And hi, Damien. Very good. Hi, BJ. Looking forward to seeing you. Oh, very good. You'll be in the cruise. Look forward to seeing you, BJ. Good. Very good. I look forward to seeing you. It'll be a fun cruise. Melissa, you missed the reading of St. Pete. Had to work. Oh, well, it was fun. That's what people like. It's a great community there. You should join that community. Unity in St. Pete. It's very beautiful. And we have Carla Apostoli. Hello from Edmonton, Canada. I am loving all the flowers. Yes. So today, this month is flower sale over at JDP School of Mystical Arts. I do it every spring because, and I can't wait to show you even more flowers. There are a lot of those flowers, the ones I've taken, so I put those on. And I'm taking more because I came home yesterday from Florida and my garden's gone crazy because of all the rain California's had. So I'm going to be taking some photographs today. The unfortunate thing is we have May gray here, so a lot of gray skies, but the flowers are in full bloom. And I can't wait to show you my roses are gone crazy. So it's really joyful, and that's why I want to do a flower sale to celebrate life and joy. If you read my blog I wrote the other day about the joyfulness of springtime and the calling of life and the celebration of life, it's a celebration of life, and that's why I wanted to do a sale for my school. A lot of people I found from the Florida events didn't know about my school. Some people asked about how I could do this, and I said, well, you should take the 28-day transformation course because that will help completely with your situation. So please go to school. So again, the school, the JP School of Mystical Arts, and it's a flower sale. And Renee will put the school address up there, but it was really great. Richard, hi, Rich F. How do we know karma has been completed and finished? Well, sometimes it's hard to know when it feels completed, but it's very subtle, but it will feel something's complete. It feels like it's finished. It does feel complete. I've been through 2 divorces, and both times I feel complete. I had to go through marriage. I had to go through a person I married, the first marriage I had, and it was the weirdest thing. You wouldn't expect it, but you feel there's a feeling it's done, it's finished. You did it, and really all you can do, Pete, is the best you can do. Just know you did the best you can do, and end it with having no resentment, and end it if you need to forgive. And that's all you can do. And and love is the answer. Love really does complete the cycle. And karma, it's not negative, it's positive as well. So gotta realize that. Okay. Hi, Stephanie. If you believe an energy is of someone you know to be there, is it okay or get a reading? Sure, Stephanie, you can do that. You can ask in your own mind. There's something to remember, that the soul is the mind is the soul. So more of your soul is here than here. So in your mind, if you open up that mind and you surrender the mind and you feel a loved one coming close, you feel their personality, then they're reaching into your field. They're merging into your field. They're sharing that space. So that's when you can ask them a question. and listen to an answer. Listen with your heart, not with your head, not with a critical thinking, but with your heart, and you'll feel the fullness of the personality with the answer they give you. Okay, that's a good answer, James. Thanks. Okay. Cindy, hi Cindy. If someone passes but you don't speak the same language, can you still communicate? Yes. Why is that? Because communication is thoughts. It's thoughts, it's energy, it's feelings. It's not words. Words are the physical world, but thoughts are universal. So I've worked in countries all over the world. I haven't worked in China, I haven't worked in Africa, in that continent, but I worked all over South America and Australia. Well, Australia, they just speak funny in Australia, right? And Mexico and all over the United States, where they speak funny all over the United States. The hardest time I had with hearing someone was really in Newcastle, the UK. In the UK, there are all so many different accents, just like we have in the United States, but the UK, Newcastle, I've got the Newcastle accent, the hardest UK accent. And this is September and October, I'm going to Scotland. And the Scottish accent for me is a little hard. Once I'm there for about a week, I pick it up very quickly because I'm clairaudient, I hear. So my hearing is very sensitized, so that'll be easier. But I wanted to share with you guys today also because of the work I do, and I just went to Florida out of retirement, semi-retirement, and interesting insights that I have coming from not working with people for many years. It's COVID, and being with people. And I'm very, very aware. And from the spirit world, they often, I've read books about it, I've talked about it, they've come through messages about it, that when they see each other in the spiritual levels, they see each other as an energy, they see each other colors. And those colors really are a direct vibration, replication of who that soul is. And those colors are created by the life you just lived in the earth. So if you're a very nice, loving person, compassionate, kind person, the colors seem to be brighter, much more expansive, pretty to look at. And people know your personality, who you are by your colors. They don't speak to you like we speak here verbally. It's all done with thought and visual. So they'll sense who you are by what you look like with your colors. So isn't that interesting? So, and like attracts like. So you will go to a level which is based upon your thoughts, your words, your deeds, how you treated another person, how you lived your life, basically. Because how you live your life is who you are. If you want to sink into that sense of just being a victim mentality and negative thoughts, then you'll have negative experiences and you won't expand. You'll stay in the box, right? And that'll be harder. And again, many lifetimes to get out of that box of understanding. But if we choose to open up ourselves now and not care what other people think of us, just do the right thing. Because if you are yourself and you do your own thing, you live your own life according to what your soul is, who you are, and do it with love and understanding of passion and forgiveness, you'll rise up. You will really rise up and expand. But if you do your life in darkness and trying to get over on somebody, to hurt somebody, to abuse somebody, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad because you're staying in that lower level, the lower regions, they call them. And that's what you're going to reach when you pass over to the side. You go to that level you've created. The story I love to tell, which is a little mythical story, but it's a lovely one. The spirit world many years shared, and as this, I'm going to share it with you right now to bring my point across. There's a very wealthy gentleman who lived in this earth, and when his time came to pass over, he left this world and he met Saint Peter at the gate. And St. Peter said, "Oh, we've been expecting you." He said, "Yes, I'm here now." So they go and he goes, "I'll show you to your house," St. Peter says. Okay, go on. And they go through the gate, and it's beautiful as this man has ever seen. Beautiful grass, a garden as far as the eyes can see, and beautiful castles, if you will, beautiful housing and mansions and children playing and people happy and laughing. And he's walking around. He says, "This is so beautiful. Oh, I love this. This reminds me of the place I used to have." And St. Peter says, "Yes, come this way." And they walk down this pathway and they go down these steps and make a turn. And as they go down the turn, it looks like it's getting a little darker. And the man notices that the cement has now gone to these rocks, and he can barely walk on this path, and it's getting darker. And he said, and the houses are getting smaller, and he can't see as many people playing, and just seems like clouds are coming over. And he said, "Are we going the wrong way? Because this is not my place. I had wonderful mansions in the earth, and I owned or employed many people, so I should have the best that there is." And he said, "God must have made a mistake." And St. Peter turned around and said, "No, God doesn't make mistakes." So they keep on going down further and further, and they got this pathway get his curve going down further, and it's harder to walk. It's getting darker and darker, and the house is all shrunk, and they're getting very small. You can barely see the house; it's dimly lit. And he said, "No, no, no! God has made a mistake. I never lived like this. I had incredible mansions, I had a lot of money and a lot of power. And this can't be right. God made a mistake." And St. Peter turned around again, and he said, "God doesn't make mistakes." And he goes, "That is possible." St. Peter said, "There was a few more steps. Come down." So we went further down, and St. Peter pointed to this little tiny hut all the way distant and said, "That is your house, right? That's your dwelling." He said, "That's impossible. I was the wealthiest man in the world. I own people." And he said, "No, we could only build with the materials you sent us. And that's what you sent us." So there you go. Really true. You create that world on the other side of residence, of a dwelling, when you first pass over, based upon how you treated another person, based upon how you lived your life, based upon how you loved and how you gave unconditionally, and how you forgave unconditionally, and how you opened up your mind to learn. And it's so interesting. I remember this weekend when I was working in Fort Lauderdale. No, it was not. It was in St. Petersburg, and there was a lovely gentleman in the audience with his wife, and his energy was so beautiful. He just shined, and his father came through. But I said, "Sir, you have the kindest energy. It radiates all around you. This beautiful energy." He said, "Thank you." He was so humble and happy and joyful, and he just had this lovely energy. And his father came through, and he had the exact same type of energy, and he was such a great guy to bring through. So that's what I'm talking about. That when you meet somebody, you feel that this sense of love and happiness and joy. And that's what we're talking about. And especially these days when there's a lot of dark thoughts, when there's a lot of limitations, a lot of fear around, it's time to say no. I was in Florida. One of the things I talked about was Ron DeSantis as a governor. And I thought, how dare this person does this? That's dark. When you don't go after drag queens. When you go after drag queens, it's a bad thing to go after drag queens, because they'll take a 9-inch heel and throw it at you. But I mean, that just speaks of the ridiculousness of it, the inequality, and the weirdness that whole thing is. People have responsibility, and if it's a parent being responsible, they have a responsibility to teach their children the way that they want. They don't want to read certain books, don't let them read certain books. Don't let them go on social media. But go after drag queens and other people, it's crazy. It's just crazy. We should go after the person that wants to do that. That wants to go after them, because that's the bad person. Anyway, I said that to Florida, and it's true. When you don't want to hurt people, no matter what group. We're all the same. I don't care if who you are, what nationality you are, what color you are, what language you speak. But as long as you don't hurt someone, and you don't try to push your stuff onto somebody else, that's how we should live. But we should never allow someone like that hate to come out like that. That's not right. Drag queens, we joke about, but same thing Nazi Germany happened. And it's just repeating itself. It's just a different group of people. And we can't allow that. We can't allow that in this country. We just can't do it. Okay, that's enough of that. Okay. It's crazy, but that's why more light is needed. Hi, Damien. Hi, James from Germany. Hi, Damien. Can you say something about addiction on the other side? Rudolf Steiner said the addiction will stay in. Is very true. I love Rudolf Steiner. Love all Rudolf Steiner's work. Love it. And Swedenborg also, very much the same philosophy. Very, very true. If there's an addiction here on the earth that you don't handle it, you'll bring it with you. You'll bring it with the other side. There'll be that tremendous, and because there's a mental vibration over there, it'll be more in your head of thought. Let's say there was let's say they had hell of it, alcohol. Let's say they liked something to drink, a whiskey or something. They drank. When they pass over, they're going to have the desire in their minds to have it. And they can create that whiskey over there, and they can drink it and as much as they want, but they'll find it doesn't have the same kick, because you're not in a physical body anymore, per se. You're not in a physical vibration. It's a mental vibration. So it's more of a mental type of thing. And the same thing, my friends, not addiction, but judgment, prejudice, judgment, same thing over there. It stays with you. I remember developing as a medium. There was a lady came through, and she said, "You're doing the devil's work." And I said, and there was another guide above her, and she's still lost in her thoughts of the world, of the limitations of the world, thinking it's the devil's work, and religion has taken her, poisoned her mind. And she thinks that way, so she's judgmental. It's so funny, people talk about God, but then they have judgment against others. So that's not treating God in the right way, the name of God or Jesus. Um, that's why, yeah. Okay. Colleen Feldman, how can some people get visits and I don't? Because you probably try too hard, Colleen. You probably demand it too much and try. But if you open up your mind, like I talked about earlier, and just let it go, they'll give you the room and space to come into you. So many times you'll get it when you're not even thinking of it. You'll get a communication when you're washing the dishes, when you're in the shower, when you're going to the bathroom, when you're driving the car, when you're reading a book. You're at a passive state of the mind so they can come in. But if we're always thinking, I want, then they can't do it. It's harder for them. You don't give them the space to come in. So we have to be able, just because we want it doesn't mean that, they get going to come in. You have to do the work in that. You have to let yourself relax and stop being so demanding, and they'll come to you in a very subtle way, not a hard way. Remember, everything is soft, not hard. Okay. Susan Mason, please do meditation with us. Oh, okay. I can't do it now, but I will tonight, a little bit tonight, maybe I'll do it later. I'll do it next Thursday. This Thursday, I'll do it. Okay. This Thursday, we have SoulCARE Thursday, and that's an intensive one. So I'll do a meditation because I'm going to get ready to do a meditation class. So in honor of that, I will do a meditation this Thursday, sweetheart. Okay. Jeanette Bruce, do we all have a spirit guide? How do we recognize a spirit guide? We all have spirit guides. We have many different spirit guides. And yeah, again, I'm repeating myself. You recognize them by sitting in the quiet, by quieting the mind on a regular basis, if you will. I suggest 15 minutes a day, just sitting in the quiet, closing your eyes and riding the breath, breathing in through the nose, the count of 3, and exhaling mouth, count to 5. And just over and over again. And then after a while, just let yourself just ride that breath. And I'd say a good 10 minutes of that. Then just go into your heart space, not into your head space, and just feel that sense when the energy. The reason why is because you want to become very mindful of, with that breath, you also are going to your heart space. You become aware of the internal part of yourself, and you become so aware of that and so sensitized to that the other spaces around you, you're not thinking about, and that the spirit person, the spirit guides, can come closer to you. You can ask them then to come close, and that you feel them in your heart. You feel them as they come through. And it's very subtle. They're not going to hit you over the head. It doesn't work like that. Again, it's soft. And so the softness is what you want, that passiveness. And that's how you feel the energy. And once you allow yourself not to think so much and go from your head to your heart, you begin to sense and feel that softness of that particular guide. And you might feel an energy of a healer or a philosopher or of a teacher or something helps you with a career. And that's how you do that, sweetie. Behind my right shoulder, it's a bit fuzzy. No, but that's because I took this camera with me on my trip to Florida, and I didn't clean it before I came on today because I didn't have time. But it's not a spirit, and it'll be better this evening. We're trying to experiment with the different cameras to use for these Zooms, because this wasn't the best camera, and we want to get a really good one. So we're working on that. Okay. So bear with us. Okay. Noel, hi James. Any thoughts on how you can get to forgiveness but also keep boundaries? Sure, sure. So in forgiveness, I'm going to look up something right here about it because it's something really cool. I want to read to you. I've read it before, but I think that it's. Hold on a second. It's about forgiveness. Hold on one second, kids. But there we go. Okay, here we go. I just want to read you what John Kabat-Zinn says about forgiveness, because I like what he says. There are a lot of different authors that talk about teachers. Developing awareness is the key, right? The cultivation of loving kindness is part of what is known as in early Buddhism as the four Brahman vibras. I'm just going to go to the forgiveness part here. Okay. Well, I want to say about I can't find what I wanted to. Here it is. Okay. Although we can undo the past through disclosure and contribution, through really realizing the unwholeness effects of unwholesome actions, Again, hold on. I'd like to end with a forgiveness meditation. Okay, here we go. If I have hurt or harmed, so what what you want a meditation? Here is one. Close your eyes, and we're going to give you one. All right. So this is good about forgiveness. So as you close your eyes, I want you to imagine that you sink and you get tiny and tiny and tiny, and you fall into your. And I'm going to turn this camera off. Yeah, good. And you fall into a part of your heart. Imagine a miniature all the way to your heart, and just feel that in your heart. And as you go into your heart, become aware of someone you have not forgiven in your life. I'm just going to say these words, and maybe as I say these words, your heart energy, which is the energy of unconditional love, you can send to that person. You can be better than. If I've ever hurt or harmed anyone knowingly or unknowingly, I ask their forgiveness. If anyone has hurt or harmed me knowingly or unknowingly, I forgive them. For all the ways I have hurt or harmed myself knowingly or unknowingly, I offer forgiveness. No reason that your soul needs to suffer. I send love to that person that I can't forgive. And I realize as I'm sending that love, that soul may not have had an awareness or known that they were hurting me. That's okay. I know it was done from a level that they were unaware. But I have an awareness now to forgive, to understand. I don't necessarily condone the act, but I forgive them because perhaps I didn't know any better. And I ask them to forgive me. And just think each person that you know in your life that you need to forgive. That would be great. And one person at a time, and perhaps maybe you see their faces. And as you see their faces, ask them or tell them you forgive them. And it's a lovely Hawaiian forgiveness of Ho'oponopono, which reads, I'm sorry. So repeat this after me. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. So each person that you see that you feel you need to forgive, you can forgive them at a higher level, saying, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. And I just want you now to feel what that's like as you send that forward to someone. How does it make you feel inside? And slowly open up your eyes and be as one. So there you go. All right. I love you all, and we'll see you tonight. If you want a reading, come back tonight at 6 o'clock Western time, California time, and Caroline Limolo. That's her phone number right there. She can get you a reading. If you want to call her now, you can, and she can set that up with you. Or you can wait to see her this evening. She's very good. She gave me a reading, and 2 days later, everything happened. It was wild. And then the other lady gave me the same information. It was like, wow, because they read what's around you. Can't force things. Those pick up what's around you. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you tonight. God bless you. Bye-bye.